Hello, everybody, and thank you for being tuned in to Onda UNED. And now we are traveling through the sea to the south of the African continent, in the country of the rainbow, which is South Africa. And we are discussing with Mpine Makoe. She is from the University of South Africa. She's a leader of a faculty of education that has more than 100,000 students, so it's an amazing number, and it's it was the first distance learning university in the world. So it's a pleasure to be with you. And maybe at first you can do like a little hello to the university, saying hello to the university, and you may discuss your role at the South African University.
Thank you very much for your kind invitation. My name is Mpine Makoe.
Oh, sorry for that.
Okay,
Okay,
no
you may start again.
Thank you very much for your kind invitation. I'm really appreciative, and also being here, it's quite good for me. And hello to the people people who organize this conference, because it's really a good conference. We started off in a good way. My name is Mpine Makoe. I am the Executive Dean in the College of Education within the University of South Africa. The University of South Africa is 150 years this year, and we've been celebrating our birthday of many years of being the largest university in the continent and being the first distance education university in the world. So we call ourselves a grandmother of all open universities and a mother of all universities in South Africa.
No, definitely an amazing CV of the university and history, and surviving many stages of development, difficult, hard times, easy times, and the university has survived throughout all of that. Why is it important to do meetings like the ones we're doing today, where internationalization is so important?
But today, this meeting. It's about all open universities in the world, and it has been around for a very long time. And it's important for open universities because for many years, open universities, it will be one university in a country, and it's not the type of universities that you'll find everywhere. So because of that, it's important for us to meet as open universities, discuss our challenges and how to improve on those things. Without doing that, it's not possible to do the work that we are doing and also share knowledge. So internationalization is important because even now, more so now, because we are a global community, and globally you have to constantly work together for improvement, learn from each other, and also realize that the challenges that you face are not only yours alone, but everybody in the field is actually doing that. The second thing is that distance education as a field of study is not a very old field of study. Universities were there, but they were using universities' way of doing and studying. However, ours is unique because now with online and everybody moving into an online space, it's important for teachers in this type of universities to learn how to teach in an online space, because it's a very different way of doing it. It's not the same as we would teach in a classroom. And many of us are familiar with the classroom way of teaching rather than teaching in a distance or in an online space.
Yeah, you were telling us how COVID times made many universities to go into virtual, but without having the distance learning chip on it.
Yeah. You know, COVID actually assisted us in a great way because we were questioned. You can't do this way, you can't do this way. However, when COVID came, every university actually came to us to learn how to teach students who are not in the classroom. So for us, it was seamless. We didn't have to worry about anything, but many universities had to stop to teach, and they came to us to learn how it is done, and then that's when they started teaching. But for our students, there was no break. It was something that they continued doing.
Yeah. You told me prior to the interview that one of the big challenges is actually, given the COVID times, that both students and teachers are growing, but they are not prepared for the online environment.
Yeah.
So maybe discuss that little challenge that you,
Yeah.
well, not little, big challenge that you have now.
The challenge is that when people come from a traditional setting, when they used online like a space, not like a pedagogy, like a teaching space. They used it as a space. They would just go into in an online space and then present like they're presenting in a classroom. And that is, you can't do that in an online space. In an online space, you need to engage students. You need to make sure that they are also engaged with the curriculum. And they cannot be engaged with the curriculum if you sit there and you expect them to listen to you for 2 hours or whatever. When people are watching something and when people are seeing you doing it, there are two different ways. To watch, you want to see action, you want to see activity. You either see activity so that you can be able to feedback, or you don't.
And if you have like a traditional class, people will be just jumping in,
Yes,
because they
yeah.
want to see faster.
Yes, but in a virtual, you can't do that. They can see, but they also need to engage so that we can see that they have actually learned. You don't have the luxury of seeing people. You know, when you are presenting in front of people, you see their reactions and you can go forward with them. But if you're not presenting in front of them, you don't know their reaction. They may be sleeping, or they may be just turning it
With the
on and
computer.
leaving. and not even being there. So that for me was very, very problematic.
I was wondering, I know your process in Costa Rica is starting, but what sort of linking do you find with a university like the Distance Learning University of Costa Rica?
We have a lot to learn. We are in developing context, and I don't think you ever stop learning. There's a lot to learn from cultural issues, how to integrate cultural issues in our curriculum. We have to learn as developing countries and supporting each other. How best do we support each other in developing context? Because we maybe in your rural communities, we may have the similar problem with our rural communities, where connectivity is still an issue. Because online learning requires connectivity. Online learning requires electricity. It requires certain things that in many other communities they don't have. So it's important for us as well to meet as developing context to discuss these matters, because the matters that things that impact Western countries may not necessarily impact developing countries.
Yeah, and that discussion, it happens maybe especially in Central America, that we have little access to discuss issues with transcontinental partners. So for example, Africa and Asia are usually very far from us, and it's very rare for us to be able to hear your voices here at home. So it's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And we wanted to maybe to the world community of distance learning, what message would you want to deliver to them?
To the world, I think now in distance education, we are at the top as distance education providers. And now people are beginning to take us seriously, and thanks to COVID again, because during COVID, we made universities to survive. They never thought that you would need a medium, some kind of a medium that will assist you to move your learning. For them, learning has always been social. Learning has always been a classroom, a teacher to a student. But all of a sudden, in these days of technology, information is everywhere. That the thing of learning from a teacher is gone and dusted. People can learn from a variety of, they can access information, they can access learning opportunities, they can access networks just on the internet only. So what we need to do is to facilitate that process and ensure that learning occurs. Not to teach, but to facilitate the learning.
And that also involves empowering people's communities and stuff, that they can empower themselves to learning
Yes.
by themselves, like
Yes.
developing these self-learning capabilities.
Yeah, that's what we can do. And if we provide that space, then we are going to be in a best place, because we need to provide space of saying we are moving away from teaching as someone with authority, with the knowledge. Now knowledge is available to everybody who wants to access it. I was saying anybody can be a teacher now, based on the internet and what it allows you to do.
Just to finish, I was thinking on the context of South Africa, which is a country where many communities still struggle with internet and the internet access and electricity. Do you see a role of traditional media, radio and television, within the distance learning context?
Very much so. You will never go wrong with radio, especially radio, because virtually everybody have access to that. And radio can operate on your cell phone everywhere. And cell phones, because of the lack of some of these technological gadgets, now cell phones can be used for learning, and we use them actually.
Yeah, we have found even in the furthest away communities of Aborigines in our country, they have a phone.
They have a phone, so you can use phones to upload information. Then and they can and when you do that, your information must be in chunks, not very long textbooks and whatever, but in chunks, so that they can be able to be imbibed by people. And you can use a lot of voiceovers so that they can hear you talking. And you can also use videos so that they can be able to access that information. So now we have even tools that assist us to reach further places, and even places of limited resources.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Unluckily, time has come to us and we have to finish, but it's been a pleasure, Ms. Mpine Makoe.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me again.
And big hug towards the rainbow country.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we say hello and we continue with the coverage of the International Conference of Distance Education around the world here in Costa Rica. Bye.